We might see a new politician this GE who is just as good as Lee Kuan Yew.
Wow.
And he might be joining the opposition.
Well, there's a bold statement.
Bold statement. So let me show you where this bold statement came from, who this person is, and whether he is the kind of politician Singapore needs.
Last week, I read an article in JOM, a weekly digital magazine on Singapore. It was a compelling piece on Senior Counsel Harpreet Singh. I gather he'll be a Workers' Party candidate in the upcoming election. Now, what struck me particularly was a quote from former MP Leon Pereira in the article. He said, Harpreet is a conviction politician, someone who is prepared to take risks in life to give back to the country in that way. He went on to say that Singaporeans have been starved of conviction politicians. We have what he called TikTok politicians. Actually, when you think about it, it's quite true, isn't it? Not only in Singapore, but almost everywhere, politics and elections have become about tactics and gimmicks to get those eyeballs. Of course, winning is crucial, I'm not denying it, but it cannot be at the expense of substantial conversations about substantive issues. And it is insulting, let's face it, if we keep saying that young people are all about sound bites and giggles. Come on, let's give them more credit. Many young people I met want to know what the party leaders and candidates have to say about issues that matter. They want to know where you stand, what your belief is, and how far you're prepared to go. Your conviction. The ultimate conviction politician of our land was Lee Kuan Yew, our founding leader. He reminded us that politics is not a game of cards, that this is your life and mine. His views on eugenics, polygamy, and his belief that society needs just a few smart people as the ruling elite, and his unabashed reference to some people as stupid. These have all drawn criticism. Likewise, his off-site candid references to racial and religious stereotypes was a put-off for many and in fact hurt communities. But he spoke his truth. He was authentic to a fault. He did what he believed was right for Singapore and Singaporeans. He was prepared to be judged today or in history. He didn't hide behind tactical ambiguity or lame neutrality. I tell you this, you will know when you meet a conviction politician. He or she would stand for something. You'll see this in the voice. You'll see this in the eyes. It's not about morality. It's not about ethics or even whether you are nice or nasty. You'll just know. Lee Kuan Yew, Goh Keng Swee, Rajaratnam, and J.B. Jeyaretnam and Chiam See Tong, these were all conviction politicians. We would not be here if not for their conviction and grit. We are clearly at a point of inflection, Singapore. We need conviction politicians with that messianic zeal to get us through the waves, the rough waves. But we don't make them that easily. These conviction politicians, they're rare. Now, parties, political parties, the question is, do they embrace them or shun them because they can be inconvenient, or are they made to blend in with the rest? My call to political parties is this: show us what you have.
Right. I need to check the channels. I thought Wake Up Singapore is going to have an editor.
Wow.
Okay, so he mentioned about conviction politicians, right? What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like, okay, there are different times, right, where you call for different kinds of leaders.
Yeah.
There are two that I'm seeing. One is during peacetime and one is wartime. I believe like last time, right, we were at wartime. So when we just got our independence, right, we needed someone who has that conviction, who is bold enough to take the risk to do something that's a bit more crazy, a bit more out there. I also want to bring up like these two businessmen, right? These two entrepreneurs. So first guy who you guys can think of, right, is probably Steve Jobs, right? He's one of the well-known guy that everyone knows about him. So when he was leading Apple, right, he actually brought Apple from zero to a valuation of $350 billion.
Oh, just 350 billion.
Yep.
Wow, I thought it was way more.
So he's someone who is a visionary. So he create like different items, things that totally change the whole world. So people will know that this guy is the one with the conviction, right?
Yeah, Steve Jobs had conviction.
But if you realize, right, he actually passed the baton to this guy called Tim Cook, right? So when Tim Cook joined Apple, right, nobody actually knows him, you know. In fact, when he nowadays he go to a restaurant, nobody that knows that he's Tim Cook eating together in the same table, you know.
Nobody. Is Trump still call him Team Apple?
Right from the beginning, I used to say, Tim, you got to start doing it over here, and you really have. I mean, you've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Yeah, so
Jokes.
nobody knows him. But what does Tim Cook specialize in? He specializes in strategic thinking. He's specialized in supply chain. So right now, right, actually this past few years, right, what he's been focusing on, right, is to expand the market share, expand that supply chain to go deeper than what it's, because it's just a different time already. You no longer can, although they never really create any fanciful things or like
The foundation is there already, ma. Or the creativity part, which is Mac,
same
iPhone
thing.
and stuff like that.
Basically the past few years is the same products lah. So what he's actually building, right, is all the things that he has expertise in. So he brought, right, 350 billion to 4 trillion at one point.
Yeah, I know Apple was at one point the most valuable company, surpassing all the big oil giants and all.
Yeah. So whether the question is do you need a conviction leader, right? You take a look at this example, right? Like Steve Jobs did what he should do at its time.
At that point in time.
Yeah, but now Tim Cook took over, right? Do you think that method of Steve Jobs works currently for the company?
I don't think so.
Right.
You know, just now in the video, he mentioned this one word, someone to carry them through the rough wave. Last time, Lee Kuan Yew, right? Yes, it was wartime like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Somebody need to be on control of the ship, need to ride the wave. But right now it's smooth, bro. The wave has subsided. So you need someone to lead us far, lead us to where we want to go. And I believe our current leaders are there to do that. Like you talk about conviction leader, right? I can tell you the most conviction leader I know is Chi Sun Juan. Basket, the guy is a
Actually,
GoPro.
true. He is a conviction leader.
Bro, wow,
conviction politician.
every year. Even now, he's on TikTok also posting videos. Never die, bro. He run like rallies, protests, and what. He go to jail many times. But basket.
Actually, it's true. I really don't understand how he go to hell and back, and he still have the passion. He's old,
Yeah,
right?
He's retirement age already. SDP, he's still standing firm.
You take away my bouquet batu, never mind, I go Sembawang and fight.
Yeah, that's
This
right.
fella never die, no.
What you want, right, is not the word conviction. What you want is competent. You look at him, he's not he's got conviction, right, but he's not competent at all. Then you look at the flip side, one of our best leaders of all time, Taman. You cannot say that he's a conviction person. He's such a friendly face. But he's the leader, right, he holds so many key appointments, right, in all over the world, in Singapore as well. And right now he's our president. And he's well loved by everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is that what we need right now? I believe so. Every Singaporean will believe so. 70%.
He's stacked with accolades.
Yeah, that's why.
It's the age of diplomacy, and there's a strategic way to get to where you want.
And going back to what Doreen said, right? Actually, I have two questions when I watched the video. First one is, right, what is so good about conviction politician, like what you mentioned? Because using the example wartime, peacetime, right? Last time, Lee Kuan Yew has a lot of conviction, like what you said, and he made a lot of bold move and also statement, like what he mentioned. At this time where it's peacetime, where we need strategy, do you still then take conviction as the president?
Because there are risks that come with it also.
Exactly.
Potential trade-offs.
You are in stable water, no? Why want to shake a boat? Just sail to where you want to sail and sail properly lah. So the second question, right, is he talk about TikTok politician.
Oh,
The question is, right, so what if they are TikTok politician? They are not TikTok content creators, no. They don't spend their time at home, like, today, what should I dance to?
how to learn this?
Yeah. To them, they have of course they have a PR team or whatever. They create all this content and stuff, and they are most probably youngsters, right, who are more in touch with these type of things. And to that point, right, people always say you all need to be ahead of time. You all need to upgrade yourself and stuff like that. Then what are they doing? Where are the attention? TikTok. They trust the team that is curated for this with their expertise. And if they can trust, right, a group that specializes in, let's just say, okay, we dummy like TikTok, okay, if they can do this here and just follow, and because that makes sense to them, then that can be applied to the policy making. That can be applied to how they deal with Singapore stuff and the direction that we take.
Because the openness to entertain new ideas and trust the people in your group.
It's like opposition always say, oh, y'all must listen to what we voice out, like our suggestion and opinions, right? So I think what the leaders are currently doing with the TikTok strategy,
exactly
right,
that.
is having the openness to take in this idea. You think it's comfortable for them to go in front of the camera to do all these things? You think it's comfortable for them to dance or do something that is not their era kind of thing, it's very uncomfortable.
Exactly. And I tell you, I'm a first-hand watcher myself, right? Their motive of doing it is like what? Make it more palatable. Take serious topic and make it more palatable to the youngsters and stuff, right? Who is, I feel like, the best example of that, right? Is Ong Ye Kung. Ministry of Health. When there's an ad that come or a campaign that they're running, you spend more than 10 seconds on the video. No?
It's really good.
You just, what the hell?
His videos are not bad.
It's really
But
good.
nowadays, I recently saw all his video. I watched from the start to the end with like, wow, actually this is...
Take out popcorn all.
Yeah, exactly. You go watch the
Because it's
big one or not?
entertaining when it teaches you.
Yeah, and it's in trend. And it's something that will catch the attention without, this is the main point, without diluting the seriousness of the issue. So I feel that this is something that they have done well.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be just discredited in a way where...
You just put a label TikTok politicians. Okay, so we have heard about conviction politicians, right? What do you guys think? Do you think Singapore is at a time where we need conviction politicians, or the kind of politicians we have are actually good for what we are now? Let us know and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.